Well, hello there. This is Coach Leslie, and this week on the Purpose Diva Show, I'm going to share with you 5 tips to help enhance your relationship with your team. The first tip is I want you to consider shifting your role. Shifting your role from that of a parent to that of a mentor. Now, I'm not talking about relinquishing your rights, being a pushover. No, up until this point, you have been pretty much everything to your team. Now that they are in their teen years, they are having to discover and find out who they really are. They're having to learn what it means to be in relationships, understand peer pressure, how to understand how to make decisions, and even consequences. And so you've got to trust at this point that you've done your job as a parent. You've helped establish that foundation, their spiritual foundation. You help establish they know right from wrong, good from bad. They've done all of that. Now you've got to allow them to apply everything that you taught them as a parent to begin to really make and find their place in the world. Now, when I say a mentor, that means that as they make their decisions, good or bad, that you have discussions about that. That you talk about, how did it feel now that you made that decision and the outcome was what you expected? And how does it feel to know that you've done a good thing? Again, reinforcing what you've already deposited into them. And equally, when they make bad decisions, what were you thinking? What was your thought process like? Share with me what you were thinking so that we can figure out where things kind of went wrong or you didn't get the desired outcome that you wanted. This is where you can really begin to be a source of encouragement, a source of advice, a support system so that they will want to come and communicate with you. And the second thing I want to share with you is to get a clear understanding. This is tip 2. A clear understanding of the expectations. Now, we all know our teenagers, when they get 13, 14, 15, 16, on and on, they have expectations. They want to stay up later. They want to start dating. They want to wear makeup. All of these things. And it is important that you get those expectations out on the table as soon as possible. Because if I've heard it 1,000 times from teen girls is that the rules keep changing. As parents, we say one thing and then we do another. And so the sooner you get the expectations out, it could be simple as, so tell me at this age, what are you expecting from me? And they'll begin to tell you. They'll just start rattling off everything. And then at the same way, you can begin to share your expectations with them. Whenever possible, try to meet those expectations. And then there's room for compromise. And then there are times when you're going to, as a parent, just have to assert your parental rights, your authority. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to compromise, sweetheart. We just want to do it this way. Those conversations we have to have, but at all costs and by all means, get a clear understanding of those expectations. And then begin to really practice and hone your communication skills. We know how difficult it can be to communicate with our teens sometimes. But unfortunately, and really not unfortunately, fortunately, our job as a parent is really to create the lines of communication, to make sure that they know that whenever they need to talk to us, we're there, available, and ready to listen. And that's going to take some work on some of our parts. And what I mean by listening, part of listening and communicating is that you actively listen, which means you don't overtalk, you don't interrupt, you don't think of your response while they're talking. All of those things that as parents we're prone to do. Yes, I've done it myself just a few times. But really begin to be engaged in the conversation. And one of the things I want to share with you is that it's more important for you to be in the communication process than it is for you to be right. Communicate with your child. Don't always try to be right about everything. Give them an opportunity to share how they feel. Give them an opportunity to share a different perspective on it. Just be open and actively listen. And a great way to show that you're actively listening is to repeat what it is that you heard. For example, your teen says they want to stay, they're older now, they feel like they should be able to stay out later. They should be able to have friends over and their curfew should be maybe 30 minutes longer. And before you do any type of response, just say, so what I heard you say is that you think you should be able to stay out later, or that you would like to stay out later. Then they let them confirm yes or no. If they confirm yes, then you have the right information to begin to have positive communication. If they say no, then allow them the opportunity to clarify. Don't just jump in there, because now you're breaking down the walls of communication because you didn't hear or they didn't explain. I mean, there are teens. We do still have to help them learn how to say what they really mean, but at least we're opening up the door. The next thing is to really reward the behavior you want to see. This is tip number 4. Reward the behavior you want to see. Repeat it. You hear me? Reward the behavior you want to see repeated. Boy, when I heard about this one, I got excited, because this is also a great way to let them know what you don't want to see repeated. Now, what I mean by that, suppose your kid has been prone to washing the dishes. You had an expectation and an understanding the dishes would be washed every night at 8:30. Well, you notice it's 8:35, 8:40, but one night they decide to wash the dishes on time. Reward that. Oh, honey, thank you so much for washing these dishes. You know what? Because you washed these dishes, I'm going to let you stay up 15 minutes later tonight. Or I'm going to cook your favorite dessert tomorrow. I'm going to cook your favorite, whatever it may be, just some small token of appreciation, some small reward, because now they know if they get those dishes done by that time, then they can be expecting something. But again, don't make it too much, because again, it goes into the next thing. Tip number 5, be consistent. Whatever you do, be consistent. If you want to discipline your child, you know how we do. We get to church or at home, at the grocery store. But when we get home, I'm going to, well, whatever that I'm going to is, follow through on it. Be consistent. Because when you're not consistent, you ruin your credibility with your child. They're like, oh, she's just talking. She's not going to do anything. Or he just talking. He's not going to do anything. Be consistent. Whether it's good or bad, follow through on whatever it is that you said you're going to do. Your relationship with your child is just as important as your relationship with your co-workers, your spouse, your friends. It needs to be cultivated, and it needs to be mutually beneficial. And so I hope these tips help you enhance your relationship. Again, I would not have you do anything that I would not do or I'm not practicing with my own teen daughters. And I tell you, each one of these I'm applying, and it really has helped our relationship just really be fun. I mean, being a parent is a fun thing. And I have to say, I'm having fun raising my daughters right now. And I hope that you apply these tips and they're helpful to you. And if they are, let me know, because we have a relationship as well. And I don't want to do all the talking. So if there is something you want to talk about, something you'd like to hear me discuss, or we dialogue about, or if you applied some of the things that I share with you here on the show and they've been effective in your relationships, let me know, because that's why I'm here. I'm not here to just be doing all the talking. As I said, I'm here to create dialogue with you. So again, this has been the Purpose Diva Show. I'm your host, Leslie Denman, the Girls Empowerment Expert. And this show is really designed to help you really transition from living life to living your life on purpose. Tune in next week. We'll talk soon.